Hello Ditsala, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome. You know what, I know that I promised you a video at life happened. They told me school and other life commitments. I was so busy, that's why I didn't upload a video. Now I am back. For my subscribers, thank you so much for being patient, and for those people who haven't subscribed, please like, subscribe and share. So let's dive in. In my previous episode, I was talking about how I got admission, and that admission came without a scholarship, remember? And I didn't have money to pay for my tuition. I didn't have money to sponsor myself. And I was like, you know what? Let me apply for graduate assistantship positions. So I applied for 10. At first, I applied for 10 positions and 10. And then I waited for responses. Guess what? I didn't get any response. What were you going to do if it was you? Were you going to bail out? Were you going to bail out? You know what girl did? Girl didn't bail out. Girl waited for the Lord to do something. I waited and I waited for the response, but there were no responses. But I trusted God that one day He's going to do something. I kept on praying to God, reading the Word of God, paying attention to the voice of God, paying attention to the Word of God. Like when I read the Word of God, I'll be like, you know what, God, say something to me. Say something to me today. Say something to me. Because I wanted, like, I was waiting to hear God say, you know what, do this and do that. But indeed, God told me, you know what, Seho, wait. I will never leave you nor forsake you. I know what you want, and I am the only God who can give it to you. I am your Lord, I am your shepherd. You shall lack nothing. Why is it? Lokola Mudumohoni, it says, you shall lack nothing. Mudumari, you will never lack anything. You will never lack anything. I was like, you know what? You are saying, Seho, you will never lack anything. I am your God. I trusted God. I waited for God to do something, you know? And then the following week, I applied for another 5. Guess what? I didn't receive any response. But you know what? I trusted in God. I trusted in God. I was like, God, give me strength to keep on holding upon your promises. God, help me. God, strengthen my faith, because I don't want to lose hope. I trust you and you know my heart. And I was like, you know what, God, I surrender everything unto you, withholding nothing. I give it all unto God, because I knew that God was going to do something. And then I kept on applying. I applied for 5 more, which means I applied for like 20 positions, but nothing was coming out. And I was like, God, what is happening? I applied for 20. Now, what can I do now because I've applied? You know what God told me? God told me to wait. Wait. I waited in God. I prayed, I fasted, I read the Word of God, and I kept the faith that one day He's going to do something. Girl, it's not easy. It is not easy. It is hard. I know. It is very hard. It is very difficult to be in the waiting room. But I was like, you know what? God, if you said there is nothing that is impossible for you to do, then indeed I will wait. I'll wait for you to do something. Isala, it's not easy. I applied for another 5. And then I applied for another 6. How many? A lot. But I didn't bail out. I didn't get any response. And I didn't do what? I didn't bail out. because I know that there's God in heaven who answers prayers. I know that there's God in heaven who hears our prayers. I know that there is God. I know that there is God. And that time I knew that God was going to do something. So I'm saying this to encourage people, or to encourage someone out there to say, you know what? Even if it is hard, keep on holding upon God's promises. Don't bail out. Don't bail out. You can do it. So I waited. And then after applying for so many scholarships, one day I received an email. And then they were like, "Look, you have been chosen for an interview." And I was like, okay, fine. I'll go to that interview with the Lord. The day came, they did interview me, and then I was like, yo, hey, this interview was very difficult. And then it was 6 p.m. It was 6 p.m. in the evening, yeah. And then around 8 p.m. I slept. When I was still sleeping, I had a dream, someone was like, in the dream, someone was like, you did well. I was like, oh, I woke up and I was like, oh, God was speaking to me. I did well. Yes, I did well. And then I called my friend and I was like, you know what? When I was sleeping, I heard someone, like in the dream, I heard someone saying, you did well. Okay. And she was like, this one is yours. This one is yours. And then, I was ready to come to school. All I wanted was a scholarship, that one thing, because I needed that to go write my visa. To go for my visa interview. Because as an international student, for you to go for a visa interview, you have to have like a bank statement which shows that you can sponsor yourself, or a scholarship. But I didn't have those things. But I trusted God. And after 2 weeks, I received an email saying, you know what, Siro? We are sorry. We didn't. We decided to choose another candidate. I was like, God, what is happening? I was like crying now. I was like, God, you know what? I need to go to school. I need to go to school. And then I started praying, like really praying hard, fasting, reading the word of God, asking guidance from the Lord. Like, God, what should I do in this situation? What should I do? You know what? God told me to hold on. And I did that. I kept on praying. I kept on praising, worshiping God. I kept on trusting God, like fully. You know what? I kept on saying, God, I know that you're going to do something, God. I know that you are going to do something. Now, as we speak now, I am on my last semester. Whoop, whoop. I'm graduating this semester. I've been working as a GA, graduate assistant, for 2 years and some months. Yes. So in the next video, we are going to talk about how I got my F1 visa without funding. That was a miracle. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this one. Okay, bye.